Hey, what's going on? This is Mando Crusader, and today I'm going to be playing some historic vampires in the Mirror Mirror event in Magic the Gathering Arena. For those of you who don't know, the Mirror Mirror event is an all-access event. You can play with any card in Historic. You don't have to spend wild cards or even own the cards. You also can play with some cards that were banned in Historic due to being overpowered. These cards have been given special versions and they've been nerfed so you can play with them. But because I'm boring, I'm not going to be playing that. Instead, I'm going to be playing a deck that I wanted to test out before I spent wild cards on it and played it in like ladder and whatnot. So without further ado, let's get into it. This is Historic Vampires, Mono Black Vampires, I should say. And this is inspired by a Draft Sim article that I read. That article will be linked in the description. So we got a bunch of one drops here. This deck is basically value. It's value getting your stuff out on curve and just womboing your opponent, and hopefully you can wombo them before they board wipe you. That's the big thing. So for one drops, we've got two one drop creatures. First is Knight of the Ebon Legion. Basically, one drop, it can grow very big if your opponents let it. You can put a 1/1. You put a 1/1 counter on it if any player is dealt 4 damage. So that can grow very big, very quickly, and it can become very scary for your opponent. Additionally, we've got Vampire of the Dire Moon, 1/1 Death Touch Lifelinker. Basically chump blocker. Can take out anything, obviously, because of Death Touch. It's also nice sacrifice fodder for Sorin, but we'll get to him when we get to him. The rest of the one-drops are most of our removal suite. We got 2 copies of Bloodchief's Thirst and a copy of Fatal Push to just kill our opponent's 1 and 2 drops, buy us some more time. Additionally, we've got the standard full playset of Thoughtseize, so we can disrupt our opponent's threats before they even get onto the battlefield. Next up, we got our 2 drops. We got Dusk Legion Zealot, another chump blocker, really. However, it also comes with some value because it draws you a card when it enters the battlefield. You do lose 1 life, but that probably won't be an issue because of cards like Gifted Aetherborn, another 2 drop. This is basically better Vampire of the Dire Moon, Death Touch Lifelink, except it's a 2/3, and it can get even bigger with cards like Sorin or Drana, Liberator of Malakir. So yeah, this is going to be one of your main attackers in this deck. It's a really good card, especially once it gets powered up. For our 3 drops, we first start off with the glue that holds a lot of the deck together in Sorin Imperious Bloodlord. It's a Planeswalker. It has 2+1s. The first target creature gains Death Touch and Lifelink for the end of turn. If it's a vampire, put a 1/1 counter on it. So that applies to literally everything except Murderous Rider. And this is just pump up your creatures, help you get more life, especially if you need it from Dusk Legion Zealot, Champion of Dusk, or just taking damage in general. Second 1/1 is Sacrifice a Vampire. When you do, the Sorin deals 3 damage to any target, and you gain 3 life. You're rarely going to use this, but when you do, it's going to come in very, very clutch. I once won a game against an Oko deck because I just killed his Oko with this. So, finally, and this is the big one right here, our -3. You may put a vampire creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. So we're going to be using this to cheat out our 5 drops 2 turns early. So that's a lot of fun when you put out Champion of Dusk or Drawn of the Last Blood Chief on turn 3. It really gives your opponents a big problem. Next up, we've got 2 copies of Drana, Liberator of Malakir. So this card's a little unique in that every other card in this deck was either mentioned or was talked about, or it was straight up part of the deck initially in the Draft Sim article. This one is solely my inclusion, and I don't know why the article didn't mention this, because this card wins games right here. It's a 3-drop flying, a 2/3 flying first strike. And its ability, though, is the big thing. It's whenever Drana, Liberator of Malakir, deals combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 counter on each attacking creature you control. And because this is somewhat of an aggro deck, you're going to ideally have a lot of attacking creatures. So if your opponent doesn't kill this in like 1 or 2 turns, it's going to spiral out of control for them very quickly. You're just going to be dealing damage, you're going to be healing with cards like Aetherborn and Vampire of the Dire Moon, and it's just going to be madness for your opponent if they don't kill it very quickly. So this is a great card. This card has won me many, many games. So I include 2 copies, and I would recommend it as well. It does cost 2 Mythic Rare Wild cards, but I believe it is well worth it. Next up, we have the only non-vampire in the deck. That's Murderous Rider, and basically, it's here to round out our removal suite. Just unconditional removal for 2 life is obviously really, really good, especially when we have all of our life linkers and Sorin and all of that. It also has a nice 2/3 lifelinker body attached to it, so that's just extra value, really. So, good card. Unfortunately, it doesn't this is pretty much the only card that doesn't synergize with Sorin's +1s, or anything about Sorin, but still, it is some good value. Finally, we have a single copy of Agadim's Awakening. Not only is this used for land, if you're absolutely desperate, but this can help us recover from a board wipe by getting some of our vampires back out onto the field. Finally, we have our 5 drops, and while you will occasionally be hard casting them, these really exist to be cheated out by Sorin 2 turns early. So first up, we have Champion of Dusk. It's a big old 4/4 body, and when it enters the battlefield, you draw X cards, and you lose X life, where X is the number of vampires you control. This is your hand refiller. You use it to refill your hand. It's that simple, right? And the life lost, again, shouldn't be an issue because of Aetherborn and Vampire and Drana and Sorin. So life should not be an issue. Because you're basically refilling your hand for free here. And finally, we have 2 copies of Drana the Last Blood Chief. It's 4/4 flyer, and whenever Drana the Last Blood Chief attacks, defending player chooses a non-legendary creature card in your graveyard. You return that card to the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it. The creature is a vampire in addition to its other types. So again, this helps us get our creatures back. It won't bring back Drana, Liberator of Malakir, but it'll bring back literally everything else in our deck. So that's a really nice threat for our opponent, a nice wombo combo with our other Drana. So yeah, this is, again, you can hardcast this, but again, if you get this out with Sorin, like, your opponent's gonna be sweating a lot. Finally, we have our land mana base. It's not anything fancy. It's 21 swamps and 2 castle lockveins for some extra card draw and extra value. The swamps, the original article recommended using snow-covered swamps and 4 faceless havens, but I found that the havens, I got them when I didn't want them. I had to mulligan because all I drew in my opening hand was faceless havens. There were times I just wanted a black mana, but I got stuck with the colorless faceless gives. And I didn't even use faceless haven that much in the deck, so I decided to just take it out, save myself 4 rare wild cards, and instead put in my beautiful Planeswalker Jumpstart Swamp. So that's the deck. Let's get into a couple of games, and let's see how it does. Alright. Alright, this is a decent hand. Got a 2-drop. We have a 1-drop removal. I think we're gonna keep this one. I'd prefer a 1-drop creature, but what can you do? And hey, there's our 1-drop creature, so ask and ye shall receive, as the saying goes. So we got Knight of the Ebon Legion out. We could do we could throw out Vampire of the Dire Moon. Actually, you know what? I think I am going to do this. I'm going to throw out Vampire of the Dire Moon. So we can get our Chump and Bloodchief's Thirst, the human, so that they can't use Lovestruck Beast. Redeem God of the Worthy. That is less than ideal, but there's our Swamp. There's our 3-drop Swamp. Throw out another Knight of the Ebon Legion and attack with Vampire of the Dire Moon. Get that life back. This is why I said don't worry about life. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Next turn, we'll be able to cheat out one of our 5-drops. The question is, do we get the blocker that can block Redeem? Or do we refill our hand with Champion of Dusk? Oh no, Collected Company. Oh gosh. Oh no. What are they going to throw out there? Oh. Well, I guess there goes that plan. And there goes Sorin. Sorin. We have to Agadim it. Oh well. Oh yeah, okay. Thanks to Archon. Oh. Enjoy your taunting, buddy. So it looks like we've got just mono-white flyers. Not mono-white, but just flyers here. All flyers, as it were. Another Elite Spellbinder. My gosh. And there goes our Champion of Dusk. Let's play out our Sorin and cheat out our Drana. And there's Skyclave. Alright. Skyclave Apparition. Okay. So this is less than ideal. Let's throw out Gifted Aetherborn. I guess we'll attack with that. We'll get our Vampire of the Dire Moon back. Oh, I should have waited to activate that. Let's kill the Archon. Yeah, that looks good. So we get a little bit of a board clear here. Our Knights get powered up. A second Collected Company. Okay, well, we can deal with Ooze. We can deal with Scavenging Ooze. Got another Swamp. We got 6 lands, so one more land we'll be able to throw out Hard Cash Champion. Let's go whole hog. And that's GG. So already you can see how this deck absolutely just ticks. It just goes off with the Knight of the Ebon Legions and our Death Touchers and all of this stuff. It's just really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. The queues for this event are just popping off, by the way, so we don't have to wait long between our games. I don't even need to cut between them. I prefer one drop, but we do have one drop Thoughtseize. Just turn one that, and we do have 2 Gifted Aetherborns. I'm willing to take a risk here. Again, with no one drop. And oof. Oof. I guess we're gonna take one of the Narsets. We can deal with one of our Aetherborns getting axed by Casket. Planeswalker Tribal, maybe? Alright. Throw out Vampire and second Gifted Aetherborn. And we'll see where this goes. I assume Narset's coming out this turn. Yeah, I figured as much. They can't play what they reveal, so I am safe. Birth of Meltus. Very interesting. We'll bring out Sorin. They're only going to get one piece of value from that Narset. And what will they play now? Birth. Alrighty. So this is another free turn for us, it looks like. I guess we'll just keep on pumping up Gifted Aetherborn. Get 5 more life. And we still have Bloodchief's Thirst. And what do we got this time? Kenrith the Returned King. We're just gonna kill that outright. I don't want that in my life. We're gonna start pumping up our Vampire of the Dire Moons. So we can at least get 3 damage in. Still just look at our life. This is what I mean when I say our life total isn't a problem. We're just gaining life over and over and over. Just hand over fist, really. And what do they have for us this turn? They're bringing in Yorion. Interesting. Is there any bigger threat than Yorion? No. So, let's just keep pumping everyone up, I suppose. And now we're up to 40 life. So, just, like I said, this deck just pops off. All of the life loss, it's not an issue. It really isn't. But that Thoughtseize may have just won us the game. It may have. So unless they have a board wipe here, they're done. They are done. Or are they going to Heliod's Intervention this and buy themselves another turn? Because we have more than lethal here. We're dealing 9 damage. So what are they going to do is the question. They are going to Heliod's it. They buy themselves a turn. And what are they going to do with it is the question. Another fabled passage. This time looking for an island. Do a little scrying. And that's GG. So again, this game just showcases just life isn't a problem, right? We have a lot of cards that deal us damage, but just no. Just look at this, 49 life. We leave the game with 30 more, almost 30 more life than we started with. Like, life is not a problem with this deck. So, all right, this is the hand that memes and dreams are made of. All right, here we got our 1-drop, we got our 2-drop, Sorin, 2 5-drops. Literally, all we need is 1 Swamp or 1 Lock Vein, and we're good to go. Now, I think I know what they're planning here, because I think I played a deck like this a little bit ago while I was testing another deck. So we'll see if my suspicions are confirmed. Let's just get rid of that. We don't need to play Aetherborn this turn. We're going to be playing it next turn if we don't draw our swamp, but we do. Get out Sorin, and this is where the memes happen right here. Champion of Dusk. Refill our hand. And now we got a nice big old 4/4, and it's like we didn't even lose any life. This is what makes it all come together. So this guy's playing with the nerfed cards. So you can see we've got Omnath, here we got Field of the Dead. Growth Spiral. So he's getting all of this out. Throw out Aetherborn. And just go ham. Take out one of the Lotus Cobras. And they're going to be able to get a lot out this turn. But maybe this one we may be the memes and dreams may end right here for us. Unfortunately. So definitely kill the Cobra. We lose Sorin. However, now at this point we can just hard cast our 5 drops. So let's refill our hand again. We'll leave one of our vampires behind as discouragement. We need to discard a card so we can throw away our swamp for that. Or 1 swamp, I should say. Now, the thing about these nerfed cards, I've noticed, my gosh, is that really they're still absolutely broken. Like, I was playing a Winota deck, and that gets insane. Absolutely nutso. So, personally, I wouldn't want these like re-implemented into historic in this state. Like look at this. Look at this. Our poor vampires are about to get slaughtered. I don't think there's any coming back from this, right? Like, just infinite, literal infinite value at this point, right? So let's play a swamp. Well, that was pointless. Knight, Dusk Legion Zealot, and it's another swamp. I swear. Yikes. I think we're gonna hold back for this one. However, I think they may be coming to an end here. No, never mind. Yeah, that's GG. We're not coming back from that one. 12 zombies on the board. Nah, man. But thankfully, like, that isn't the normal historic meta. Like, thank goodness. So, I mean, it's fun for an event, but I wouldn't want to be facing that, like, every game on the ladder. That would be absolute horrendous. That'd be absolutely horrendous. Alright, this is a nice curve. We got Ebon Legion, Aetherborns, and Zealots. Enough swamps to play a top deck Sorin. And it looks like we may be facing auras? Maybe? Yep, it's auras. It is auras. It's times like this when I really, really wish that we have multiple removal spells in hand, but we will. Not all is lost. Auras is a very tough deck to play against, as we're about to see, especially if they get their core out, like, instantly. But, I should say, not their core, their Spirit Dancer out instantly. Oh, boy. But... We do have Drana. We do have Drana. I see, this is one of those instances where we use this to kill the Selfless Savior. Nah. Now it's GG. That's GG. Once the second one comes out, like, nah. But still, this usually isn't the matchup you have against core. Like, we got unlucky. They had half of their Selfless Saviors in their hand. They got a open-handed Spirit Dancer, which is usually you take mulligans when you're playing auras until you get Spirit Dancer in hand, but they were lucky enough to have it in their opener. But still, that was a good match. That was a good game. Like, obviously, you know, not every match is going to go perfectly. Our first two matches shows what happened when everything goes right. Or not even right, right? Like, both of our first matches didn't even start off with a 1-drop, but still. So, let's get a little bit of card draw. I think they might be playing Angels. Definitely playing Angels. Yep, there it is. Bishop of Wings. And they're playing the Coco version as well. I shouldn't have attacked with the Tusk Legion Zealot, although I did get away with it. There's Righteous Valkyrie. There's all of their life gain. And hopefully we can get out Soren. And Coco, no Coco. That's actually surprising. Let's get out Drana. I suppose this is like the match, isn't it? Angels versus vampires, I suppose. No, here comes Here comes Coco. And what do they pull with it? Soul Warden and Resplendent Angel. And yeah, that's GG. That is GG. I really don't like Coco, to be honest with you. It always kills my game plan, every single time. Especially when they get it out exactly on curve, but what can you do? We didn't open hand Thoughtseize or anything like that. Now this is a hand right here. Thoughtseize, Knight, Drana. What do we have here? Let's get rid of Inspiring Veteran. We don't want all those knights getting +1/+1, that's for sure. And we will be able to get Champion of Dusk out next turn. This one we've got a good chance right here. I'm feeling lucky. And we get 2 swamp draws out of the way. We can Thoughtseize. Next turn, and we can have our cake and eat it too. We can Thoughtseize and play Drana, Liberator of Malakir. And there's the cleave. There it is. I don't like Inspiring Veteran more, though. Get some of that health back. Kill off the human token. And he just straight up concedes. Because the thing is, he didn't have any removal, he got mana starved, and obviously, like, the biggest contribution here is he got mana starved and we didn't, right? But still, he didn't have the removal for Drana. That would have just spiraled out of control extremely quickly, especially with what would have been a 6/6 champion. And cause I was gonna obviously put the 1/1 counter. I was gonna put that on Knight, and so he would have Death Touch and Lifelink. We'd be gaining life. We'd have a 6/6 champion of Dusk attacking. We'd have a 3/4 Knight of the Ebon Legion with Lifelink and Death Touch attacking. And obviously, Drana's going in like this is the synergy. This is what dreams are made of with this deck right here. Going out perfectly on curve. And with all the Thoughtseizes to get rid of their Inspiring Veterans. And, it obviously really helped that he got mana starved here, but still, this is what this deck can do. That's what this deck can do. So, I think that's 5 matches. I think that's a pretty good showing of this deck. I hope this inspired you to give this a try. I find it really fun, especially because I really like Mono Black. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know if there are any other decks you'd like me to try out. And I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.